Ladies and gentlemen, I find myself getting teased a lot by people who don't understand the watch obsessive. They don't understand watches. Here's what they'll say to me. They probably say this to you too. They say to you, what are you doing wearing a watch? You got your time on your phone. If you really want to get a watch, just get a smartphone, sync it to your smartwatch, and you're good to go. And I'm like doing that thing little kids do, they cover their ears going blah, 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 or I'm singing George Harrison's No One's Gonna Change My World, though that's not a good idea because the last time I sang I was attacked by a dog at Trader Joe's, so no singing. But you know that song, No One's Gonna Change My World. This is my world, this is my watch world. And you can talk to me about the accuracy of time on your phone, but I'm old school, man. I'm old analog diver watch. I even like my pilot watch every now and then, though, you know, wear divers 80% of the time. And so what I want to do is tell you, you know, there are certain reasons why we love watches that are legit. And we can focus on that as collectors moving forward with our lives. But there's some really scary reasons that we love watches. And if the dark side gets the best of us, we gotta bail. We're gonna have to bail. So the first thing I want to say about liking watches, I don't have to apologize for liking watches. I mean, people who tease me, they're right. I don't need a watch, but I'm drawn to watches the way people are drawn to art. And you do have art collectors. And as far as I can tell, being an art collector is a lot more expensive than being a watch collector. You know, there are people who like expressionistic art and abstract art, and I'm sure that's a very pricey hobby. So for me, a watch is a piece of art, and I can appreciate it as such, and therefore I don't think I have to apologize for my love of watches on that level as a work of art. And so sometimes in life, you know, when you're an art collector, you might have a beloved painting on your living room wall, and maybe something happens. You find something even better 8 years down the road, and you have to remove that that painting. You know, likewise, you know, you may be a guy, all your wrist time's going to one kind of watch, and then maybe it gets replaced. That just happens. You don't have to feel sorry for yourself over it or have an anxiety attack over it. It's just something that happens. It's someone who likes art. The second defense of my love of watches is there is such thing as nerd culture. You know, some of us are just nerds in a very specific realm. There's Comic-Con, where people go to these conventions about comic books. There's a Star Trek convention. There's Star Wars convention. Whoever would have seen the Baby Yoda cult, the Baby Yoda love, the Baby Yoda thing. You know, it's a huge thing. And, you know, and I am a watch nerd. I mean, I go to sleep with my watches. I go to bed with my watches. I bond with my watches. I find my watches to be a companion, you know, and I laugh at myself, but that I would be lying to you if I said otherwise. So there's the nerd culture aspect. I'm not going to apologize for my watch collection on that from that point of view. The other thing about watches, for me, it's just part of my routine. I like routines. Routines make me feel manageable and safe, and they make me feel good. I have a very reliable routine. I get up, I make coffee, I eat buckwheat groats with protein powder and berries. I shave with Gillette vintage razors. You know, I wear 2, 3, 4 watches a day. I don't know why. It's part of my routine, man. You know, I have to do my kettlebell workouts. I have a routine. And so The routine is a big part of it. So I love watches, and those are legit reasons I could defend my watch hobby. One more thing I would say is I don't think I allow my watch collecting to make me irresponsible with my finances. Having said that, I do think I've wasted a lot of money rebuying and buying and rebuying and doing things like that. Oh God, that's another video, man. Ooh, McMahon's been triggered. Go on with this. Anyway, so there is a dark side. And you know, anything that you love, there's always going to be a dark side. In the 1970s, I was a bodybuilder, and a lot of bodybuilders of that age, they didn't live very long. You can go on YouTube, and there's lots of videos of, where they just show this litany of bodybuilders who they passed away from kidney and heart failure, and probably was lots of steroids and things of that nature. A lot of bodybuilders, they succumb to the dark side. And there is a dark side when it comes to watches. I always think of Brad Pitt wearing his Terraciello Mara watch, this Italian watch in World War Z, one of my favorite movies. And he's the hero with that watch, and we want to be the hero, but when the watch obsession gets the best of us, we actually become the anti-hero, because the last thing we want to do is be compulsive. When we succumb to our compulsions, we're not the hero wearing our lovely wrist presence watch. We're the anti-hero, because our incontinent watch spending, our compulsion, is a sign of being an uncontrolled child. And when deep down you're an uncontrolled child, you have a lot of self-contempt and self-loathing. You want your watch collection to be a reflection of the good parts of yourself, the higher parts of yourself. So, I took 4.5 months off of watch buying. It felt pretty good. It felt pretty good not to buy a watch for 4.5 months. And when I bought this watch here, the SBDC125, the first week I was really anxious. It was like, ooh, my whole routine was disrupted. Ooh, you have a new watch in the rotation, and I had a panic, because that's how I'm built, man. That's how I'm hardwired. And so that was a big issue. The other thing, I don't want to be Gollum. And when I talk about Gollum, the deformed hobbit, I'm talking about someone who lets their watch love pervert their mind and become twisted and lose all sense of proportion of what's important in the world. If you're miserable as you're writing your little watch list and trying to have the ultimate collection, and you're miserable, then you've let Gollum take over, and that's bad. The other thing is social media manipulation. The algorithms reward us for being relevant, and a lot of times we become relevant by being extreme and addictive in our behavior. We're doing an unboxing and we're sweating and we're having a nervous breakdown. Yeah, you got 1 million hits, but you're miserable, dude. And so the social media manipulation, the turning into Gollum, the compulsion, that's a dark side. And so what I want to say is I'm very aware of the dark side. And if I ever see Gollum taking over my watch collecting, and it can happen, I'm going to have to pull a Saul Goodman. Saul Goodman in Breaking Bad, and then they do this weird thing where they reverse it to Better Call Saul. It's like a prequel. But Saul Goodman, man, he had to disappear. He couldn't go on the way he was going. He had to change his name to Gene. He had to reinvent himself as a Cinnabon manager in Omaha, Nebraska. And I mean, if Gollum ever takes over, I'm going to have to pull a Saul Goodman, man. I'm going to have to delete all my social media. I'll have to delete my YouTube channel. I'll have to sell all my watches but one. And then who knows, I'll have to become McMahon in recovery, and you'll see this new version of McMahon on some other YouTube channel eating Melba toast and cottage cheese and sampling lavender hand moisturizers. Look at me, I'm in recovery. And people are going to be looking at that video, they're going, whoa, is that the dude who used to be the watch guy? Ooh, what happened to him, man? I remember that dude. The watch guy. Now look at him. Eating Melba toast, eating cottage cheese, you know, putting on lavender hand moisturizer. Sad, man. Yeah. Hey, you know what? Sometimes in life you gotta pull a Saul Goodman. You gotta work at a Cinnabon in Omaha, if you know what I'm saying. You guys have an emergency exit strategy? Are you ready to pull a Saul Goodman? Are you ready to become Gene? Are you confident that you can let the good side of your watch hobby win the battle? Let me know what you think, ladies and gentlemen. Until next time, I'm out.